We've got the video clip. We'll show you in just a second what Donald Trump stared into the camera and told America what he really thinks about God. This story from Danny Gold, Liberty Writers News, picked up on what was broadcast on CBN. Donald Trump, he won over America's hearts with his promises to overthrow the establishment, bring back jobs, and make our country safe. He reports, however, the one question that we've all wondered since the beginning is how close is he really to God? Well, according to an interview with CBN, he went on television to talk with David Brody about his policies in the Middle East and for America. He shocked America when he came out with his real thoughts on God in the White House. Take a look.
Let me switch gears, and it wouldn't be an interview between us if I didn't ask a God question, if you will. How has that spiritual journey been for you, especially being here and knowing the gravity of the office? Do you feel the need to pray more? Where are you on that?
Well, I tell you what, I've always felt the need to pray, and you know that. So I would say that the office is so powerful that you need God even more, because your decisions are no longer, gee, I'm going to build a building in New York, or I'm going to do that. These are questions of massive life and death, even with regard to healthcare. We're working very hard on healthcare. But there you're talking about life and death, and you're talking about better lives, people living better because they have better healthcare at a lower price, which we're working very hard on. So yeah, you realize these decisions are all so important. There's almost not a decision that you make when you're sitting in this position that isn't a really life-altering position. So God comes into it even more so.
So there you have it, the words of Donald Trump, relying on God now more than ever. The office is so powerful that you need God even more. The questions are massive of life and death. It's interesting that he would say such a thing, that he recognizes the power of his office. He recognizes that his decisions have consequences. There was a report that was circulating that Obama had killed an American in the Middle East with a drone strike, and that Donald Trump had just killed that person's sister. And I looked at the story and I said to myself, it's sick that these things are still happening overseas. And it's like, you blame Obama, you blame Trump. Before Trump went into office, we would report here that, well, Trump doesn't have any blood on his hands. All the previous administrations and politicians who led to decisions and votes to bomb people in the Middle East, they have blood on their hands. Well, now Donald Trump is sitting in that same chair. He has to make the decisions of life and death. And he has to draw closer to God to find the answers to those questions. So certainly it is a great thing to hear Donald Trump making that statement, not being afraid to say it. Before you couldn't even mention God, you couldn't mention Christmas. It just shows you things are changing. I mean, could you ever see Obama making those kinds of statements? I just don't see it. And it's just great to see a leader openly able to make those statements without any fear. I'm really happy to see it. And it's not just, I don't think it's pandering either, because I remember even during the Bush years, when I first saw, I think it was during George W., one of his first runs for the White House, his first run. Someone said, well, who is your most influential person? He said, Jesus Christ. And in my heart, I just didn't necessarily believe him, I don't know if it was just my own skepticism against politicians and what they say to get in office, but I just didn't feel it. And I don't know, I just feel I feel like I can believe the things that Trump says. Now, certainly the actions will speak louder than words, and we're going to continue to watch the decisions that he makes and how they affect life and death on this planet, and how he intends to secure and make this country great. We're going to watch it, and we're not going to be afraid to criticize him either. But this is a beautiful thing that you just witnessed.
It's evident you run the show, so let me back down. You take the leading role, and I play the background. I know I miss my cues, know I forget my lines. I'm sticking to your script, and I'm reading all your signs. I don't need my name in lights, I don't need a star on the road. And why gain the whole wide world if I'm just gonna lose my soul? And my ways ain't pure if I don't live according to your word. I can't endure this life without your wisdom being heard.